Hello, hello, my dear friends, you've reached Elena's bar. The best place on the internet, the very best by far. She'll help improve your fitness, but there's also so much more. 'Cause here are just a few things that this channel has in store. There's bar and there's Pilates and there's belly dancing too. And many styles of yoga, so I'm sure there's one for you. Then watch her practice pianist string from right within her home. She's in such big condition, she'll outrun the metronome. Elena's Bar, Elena's Bar. They're the best place on the internet, the very best by far. It's not just the piano, but the ukulele too. The guitar and violin are even more that she can do. She does so many different things, it's hard not to lose track. I nearly didn't mention that she posts on her Substack. Elena's Bar, Elena's Bar. The best place on the internet, the very best by far. Yet controversial topics may be brought up for discussion, but try not to provoke her or she'll swear at you in Russian. And sometimes certain topics can make quite a big impression. So remember, you take part at your own risk and your discretion. Elena's Bar, Elena's Bar. The best place on the internet, the very best by far. You might even meet Anita if you're quite a loyal fan. She's got a fixed male cat, but she's so desperate for a man. We've really got it all, then you couldn't ask for more. So sit right back and watch Elena shave a 3 or 4. Elena's Bar, Elena's Bar. The best place on the internet, the very best by far.
Hello, hello, my dear friends. Welcome back. Welcome to Elena's Bar. I'm here with the resurgence of sanity, guys. Again, how are you doing, guys?
Good.
Good. Right. Are you excited about today's topic? You need this question. Right?
I don't think your husband sounds very good this morning.
Somebody decided that she did not want to go to bed last night.
Yeah,
stayed up too late on her phone.
Yeah, actually, I did, yes.
Boy, this doesn't happen very often, does it?
Only every night, because she's addicted.
True, but I'm not addicted to social media. I was actually reading some things, so yeah, it was.
Okay. So Steve, I won 10 cents in the lottery.
That's what you get, darling. You don't get the perfect. Perfect does not exist. As good as it goes.
So you got me in the upper corner. Is that because this is my suggested topic and you expect me to lead this?
Sure.
Actually, it's just because you were the first into StreamYard.
Oh, okay. Well,
if you want, we can flip you around.
I don't care.
Oh, let him lead. I want him to lead because he suggested this topic and it's a continuation of our previous live stream.
Okay, what's the title?
Submission to a simp? ?
Okay.
Well, what's submission and what's a simp?
Ooh. Nick, you're asking very difficult questions.
These are simple questions.
Yeah, I know, right? To a feminist would be difficult.
Well, they're simple questions with pretty loaded answers.
Loaded answers, yeah. Mm-hmm. Look, Perry is here saying great topic. So, yeah, let's dive in. Good to see you, Luke Perry.
What is submission to a simp? Okay, well, what are we getting at? Well, historically, we've considered the man as the head of the household. We believe, Christians have believed that there's a hierarchy. God, man, is a hierarchy. The Trinity, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. It's a hierarchy. Marriage, the husband and the wife, traditionally has been a hierarchy. As Christ, the husband is to the wife as Christ is to the church. That's a hierarchy. But somehow, in our modern world, we've come up with this idea of equality or egalitarianism or complementarianism. Well, they're husband and wife, man and woman are equal. Well, is that true?
In what
Hey.
sense?
Let me ask you this. Well, I'll pick two fruits, a banana and an apple. They're both fruits. Is the banana equal to the apple?
No. Apple pie tastes better than banana bread, and apples taste better than bananas.
And that's a hill he's going to die on.
What about the banana cream pie?
I like banana bread. I like bananas, but hey, apple pie is better, and apples taste.
Okay, so it's asking, is the apple equal to the banana? It's kind of like it. That's an absurd question. Equality has nothing to do with it. They're different.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Saying that a man and a woman are equal, that's equally absurd. They're different. They have different roles, and I think even feminists would agree that there's different roles. But the feminists bristle against hierarchy because hierarchy implies patriarchy.
Yes.
So with the different roles, in the manosphere, maybe on the Christian side, the tradcons, they often stress that a good woman needs to be submissive and follow your lead.
Okay.
Those guys pretty much leave it there.
True. I mean, it's true.
It's true.
Leave
Now,
it.
another aspect, another faction of the manosphere talks about dominance. I mean, Thor, he wrote a book, Dominant Masculine Presence. But Thor's, he has some Christian background, but he's not a Christian. And there's a group of guys that follow him, or I shouldn't say follow him, in that sphere that talk about the dominance and becoming a better man. And yeah, they'll mention, it's easier to manage a woman if you have that. But the Christian guys really are afraid to talk about dominance.
Why do you think, Steve, they are afraid to talk about the dominance? Because it's a Christian thing to do, right? Christian relies on patriarchy.
No.
Well,
No. They're afraid. They're afraid. They still are afraid of the woke mindset that is pretty much infiltrated more the church than the rest of society, I would say, which is kind of crazy. They're afraid of saying dominance or anything that's in a dominant way could be construed as abuse.
Okay, I see. So they totally bought into the feminist propaganda.
And they think women are a bunch of, China dolls.
Yeah. This is sad because churches used to be the place where men would go to, meet good women and follow God. And it's like it just contradicts the whole biblical patriarchy and hierarchy.
Church was more than just about meeting women, and thank God for that. Church for most men prior to the 1960s was probably the only social interaction they ever got during the week outside of their family. So it became but it became kind of the social hub of society, right? Like if you needed you needed to, or you wanted to have a social interaction outside of, your children and wife, you had to go to church to talk to other men.
Yeah, but now it's all about women. Notice how so many places are focusing on meeting women. You go to church, you go with the purpose to meet a woman. Now, okay, and then you go to other place. Okay, you are also going
You've
there with
already
the purpose
lost
to
it.
meet a
You already
woman.
lost it because you're
Exactly.
trying to meet women. You've already
Yeah.
lost it.
Yeah.
There's two terms and I want to bring up here: hurt and harm. The nice guy. Oh, you shouldn't hurt a woman. Well, hurt is a measure.
What do you mean?
Okay. Hurt is a measure of pain. Harm is actual damage.
Okay.
Doesn't the Bible say someplace that God chastises those whom he loves?
Yes.
Okay. Chastisement kind of hurts, right?
Yeah.
It's not very comfortable.
Okay. Not comfortable, but it's for your own good. Okay. So what
Had a lot of that
man
as a
say,
kid.
you shouldn't hurt my feelings.
Oh,
Well, is
snowflakes.
it necessary to hurt
Yes.
someone's feelings to tell them the truth?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Hurt a dominant man has to understand that, yeah, sometimes it's okay to hurt someone, to tell them the truth. You're not soothing, you're not fluffing them up, but hurt, just because you hurt somebody doesn't mean you're causing them harm. You can sometimes hurt feelings, challenging somebody, making them feel bad, causes them to look at themselves and learn something they need to know. I guess you might say that hurt is necessary in discipline.
Mm-hmm.
God disciplines us, and yeah, I experience hardship in my life. I'm hurt by it. But am I harmed by it, or do I come out better?
Okay, I want to take this a slightly different direction. For you men out there, you go to the gym, okay?
We're talking about gym bros.
Well, no, but okay. I want to
Okay,
draw.
okay.
I want to draw a comparison. You go to the gym, and you're having a great set. You've just upped the weight you're benching. Okay, great. And then you keep pushing, and you know what it does? It hurts.
Yeah.
But
you got to
you're-
grunt out
especially
that
the next
last
day.
rep, and that
Yeah.
one hurts.
Yeah, exactly. Not all pain is unhealthy. Now, you can go too far. You can, and I've, seen videos of guys doing this. I've seen it in person at a gym too. They go too far and something breaks. Right?
Yeah.
Like a tendon or, something. You go too far.
Right.
That's harmful.
Mhm.
That causes damage to you. Now you can't go to the gym because you have to heal that thing. Right? So the gym hurts, and the hurt is actually helpful to your body.
Well,
Yeah,
without hurt, there is no improvement.
Exactly.
Right.
Without pain, there is no.
hurt
Better.
and harm are
Mhm.
kind of on a continuum. Where is the boundary between hurt and harm? Well, I can't answer that. But, causing a bit of hurt is way different than causing harm. And if you take the hurt too far, you harm. Men understand this restraint from a young age because in grade school, you got into a fight. And, you need to hurt the other guy. You need to subdue him. But you really don't want to harm him. You could. I mean, if you get him in that position where you're you got him pinned or whatever, or how once you hit him and he goes down, you can continue to hit him and you can really harm him. But guys know that restraint. Okay, I've done enough. I don't have to use all my power and become brutal. So men learn this self-restraint, and that kind of goes into this understanding this difference between hurt and harm on a continuum.
How these young guys don't have that restraint anymore. They just, I don't know why.
Well, it requires self-discipline to have that restraint.
I mean, the guy's already down, but then they want to brutalize.
So here's my question to Nick. Do women learn this self-restraint when it comes to applying force or anything like that?
No.
Self-control. When a woman's in a fight with you, or you're in a fight with your wife, she will say anything. She will attack. She will belittle, berate, bring up things from the past. She has no restraint. Then, if ultimately it goes to divorce, oh, hell hath no fury. She has no restraint, no ability to compromise for her own best interest in you. Okay, we can settle this. We can each go our way and not spend tens of thousands of dollars and brutally attack and besmirch the reputation and make false accusations. No. In general, women do not have that self-restraint. But men don't really go for the jugular in divorce. They just want to, okay, let's just settle this and move on. It's kind of like the fight, the grade school fight. You want it over with, whoever wins, okay, let's just leave without creating greater harm. But I don't think women understand that.
Is it in their nature to create more chaos and destruction? Especially when somebody pisses them off.
Well, I don't know. There probably are some women who understand it, maybe not at a subconscious level. And I can tell you right now that none of them like it. But women who grew up around strong father figures probably at least have an understanding of it. And by understanding, I mean they've seen it before and they've seen it work. Right?
But even then, they look at their friends, the society, the lawyers. There are so many female lawyers who tell other women how to grape their husbands financially, how to get even more out of that relationship. They're constantly being egged on.
All of those things are true. Well, what I'm saying is that I think it's possible for women to come to some level of understanding of it.
Yeah, true.
Okay. I'm not saying that it's the same understanding that men have. I don't think that's true. But what I'm saying is that if you're a woman, with a strong father figure, maybe you had brothers, maybe you grew up with brothers and you watched them fight it out.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Then you might look at it and go, I really don't like that as a woman. But it always seemed to work out, around my brothers, etc. I'm just throwing that out there because I don't think it's black and white, cut and dried on this particular one.
I recently saw a video where this short, average weight woman was harassing this big guy, probably a bit bigger than Nick. And he put hands on him, slapped him. And in a reaction, he didn't punch her. He just shoved her. Just boom. She went down like a house of cards.
Yeah.
I don't know. She might have hit her head on the floor. She was just lying there. That is how much force a man has. I mean, men if they don't have that restraint physically dealing with another man, or especially dealing with another woman, they can actually use their strength to do great harm and potentially even cause death. So women don't understand that they're walking around in society among these men who every day they're shown restraint. Men are not brutally attacking women. Men are pretty safe to be around, but yet women got this idea that, oh, he's way powerful and I'm afraid of him. Never mind that there are 100 examples every day of being around a man not attacking them.
Yeah, it's the women who are attacking men actually through the institutions and suppressing the man's power and dominance. Look what happens in church, what happens on social media, on big media also, what kind of movies are being made. It's all of this beta-tized men. Women need to feel the power and control.
And even then, women are safe. In the church, yeah, you can criticize the man, you can berate your husband, you can do all this. And in divorce, you can brutally devastate him.
Yep.
But even then, in the vast majority, like 99% of the time, he does not take out his anger. He does not return the attack. He shows restraint.
He does, especially look at the men who have been destroyed by the legal system. It's like they are left without their legacy. They are left without half of their resources taken away from them, right? And then it's like,
Hey,
what?
you're looking at two of them. There's two of them on the screen.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, okay, that's enough of an intro. I wanted to talk. Okay, can submission to a simp doesn't really work. Not long term. And okay, in the process, if he's a simp, she's going to lose respect or not have respect for him. The loss of respect is going to lead to contempt. And then she's got to go on a journey to find herself. Okay, well, we laugh at that and we say, well, it's just hypergamy. Is it? Maybe she's missing something and she doesn't know what she's missing, but she does go to, she's seeking to find. Everybody's seeking to find. Seeking to find the truth, discover the truth. He's going on a journey to discover. Men are seeking to find a good woman. Everybody's seeking to find. Do you know what you're looking for? Do men know what they're looking for? Well, superficially. Do women know what they're looking for when they divorce and I have to go find myself? That's code where I'm looking for something, but I don't know what the hell I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Well, the women will tell you frequently, and you'll hear this when you talk about finding themselves, is that the reason they need to find themselves is they don't know who they are and what they're looking for. Like, they tell you this. Or what's the old red pill?
They'll find themselves by the cock carousel. That's how they find themselves.
Well, yeah. What's the old red pill saying?
But then they still.
Well, when a woman says something, believe her.
But okay, yeah, believe her. But yeah, the cock carousel. Who, when they ride the cock carousel, who are they attracted to? Chad Thundercock, the alpha guy, the dominant guy.
Yeah.
Are they unconsciously seeking to find a dominant man? Is that what they're missing? Okay, so
Yeah, partly.
moving on. This today we're going to talk about dominance and submission. Can you find a church that talks about dominance and submission, Nick?
Maybe, but submission, maybe you could find more with the trad cons or patriarch guys, but the dominance, man, I just hear the screeching from the ladies in the church.
So,
Even
Does
though that's
church-
what they crave, even
Well,
though that's
you
actually
know-
what they want.
Okay, I have an idea here, guys. It might need more development here, but don't you think that women, they only allow the level of submission that they want to give to men? This is why in church they don't mind talking about submission, because this is the leverage that they have over men, and they are giving it. But if a man has dominance that like overpowers the woman, right? They don't want to be overpowered. This is why I think they don't mind talking about submission, as far as the dominance of men is under their control.
in other words, they're in control of their submission. They can
Yes.
choose to give it or not. It's not, we have equal power. I'm not going to recognize that he's more powerful. I get to choose whether I submit.
Yes.
So he's essentially the simp. He becomes the simp.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So I believe that truth can never be destroyed. It goes someplace.
Yeah, like
Okay.
the red pill.
Yep.
Yes.
Christian church.
You reject natural law, you find it in the red pill. Okay.
Okay. Red pill kind of talks about dominance and submission, but it goes someplace else too.
Buckle up, boys.
Okay, here's where it goes. Goes to the BDSM community. And hey, let's just be honest. It's out there. And people are attracted and people practice it. Oh, this is so terrible. Unnatural. Maybe not. I've seen studies where 60% of women have what I will term ravishment fantasies.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is that not a craving for dominance and submission? And then she's not responsible for what happens, but she can participate and not feel guilt over it? Yeah. Okay, so why do people go here? Why do Christians, or a lot of women, when they leave a marriage, go and dabble in this BDSM world? Oh, and there's other terms for it. Domestic discipline, taken in hand. Oh, there's a Christian aspect, Christian domestic discipline. They are kind of seeking something. Some of it's play acting, but they're seeking truth, or they're seeking something to fill some need within themselves. So I want to have a
I would say maybe nature can be twisted. So you can have something good, a natural desire, but it can also go in all sorts of directions.
Well, okay. Nick,
So I'm not advocating some of this extreme stuff. So I'm just saying
Okay,
it does reflect something missing. It
Neither
does
am I.
reflect nature in some sense. Yeah.
Let's agree that the BDSM can and often does go too far.
well, okay. Nick and Steve, I have an idea I want to throw out to you guys, because I think it's relevant here, is that when you suppress the truth, like in its natural expression, okay, we agree that it's going to come out somewhere, but why would we not expect it to come out in a twisted form? Because it has to come out somewhere that it isn't naturally, that it isn't right, that isn't, like, for lack of a better term, wants to come out in that way, right? Like, somebody else gets the truth, gets a hold of it in an unnatural way, that truth is going to be interpreted and used in an unnatural way.
Right. Okay. So
And in our video that we did, I think, is corn the problem? Well, there's two of them we did on corn, and Plutarch brought up all the stats of women's preferences on those sites.
Well, like you'll notice, none of us disagreed with Steve's number about what 60% of women want. It's in the data from Cornhub, from the hub, right? There's no disagreement that women, they want something like this, and they're not getting it from the normal channels.
50 Shades of Grey is like the best-selling book or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh yeah, that reveals it. So can we? Well, I've chosen the video, and Elena's watched it, and we're going to watch that next. But it comes from two intelligent men talking about, well, they have BDSM in their title of their channel, but they're talking about dominance and submission, kind of a philosophical, emotional, it's an intellectual discussion. So on the surface, Plutarch mentioned, oh, they can twist the truth. Okay. Yeah, okay, I'll agree with that. But can we go there in a controlled manner to find out and listen to what they're saying, to bring that back into the Christian church, into the lives of people, and redeem the twisted truth and return it to the natural experience of people, to return the natural order to things? Can we do that? Or, oh, we're good Christians, we're not going there.
No, all our women are, they have they're Madonnas, right? And they're fragile China dolls. They're like angels. Well, the numbers say differently. The data says differently, guys.
Okay, Elena, do you have the video ready? Oh, damn, I
Well-
didn't have my mic in the right place. Sorry, guys.
No,
Oh, we
she's
can
been too
hear.
busy with her phone again.
I was trying to find the video because you Steve sent so many videos to watch. So
Okay. Lack of preparation. Oh, man.
yes, sorry guys.
Hey, put your phone away.
I'm trying to find
Oh,
it in the
she's
messages.
finding it on
Sorry.
there.
Okay, he's finding it.
Elena, your phone cannot help you find the message. You would need to find it on your computer. Gentlemen watching this video, now maybe you, our audience, has a little bit of insight as to what we have to deal with.
Okay.
Steve can add things to the
Yeah,
okay.
I have to find it yesterday. I, watch a lot of stuff, so I got to scroll down through my history, find it. Sorry, guys. Nick, why don't you keep talking while we're looking?
Okay. So we had another video. It's like the mask she wears. A lot of women have also the Madonna whore complex. And hey, a lot of these young ladies in their early 20s, they might not be so pure, but hey, they'll come back to church, or they'll come back after college, and then they'll put on or maybe in their later 20s, they come back and they put on the Madonna mask. Oh, I'm pure. And then they marry a nice Christian guy. He just can't satisfy her suppressed and hidden desires.
Okay, I found it.
Okay, here it is.
Okay. I'll start it.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully the
When the
sound
order
works.
becomes overly rigid, it falls into the shadow of the tyrant. And that's the Andrew Tate. The reason it captivates so many young men is because there is some truth in it. There is a need for men to have that tyrannical side in them, to enforce order, to carve out your kingdom. That is true. But it must be balanced with the ability to be merciful.
Why should a woman submit to a man? Our question today is from Nicole, who writes that the only thing being submissive does to a woman's dating life is to increase the likelihood of her attracting an abusive or controlling man. Since a woman doesn't even have to be remotely submissive or agreeable to get a man, she's not seeing the benefit whatsoever.
It's true.
So, yeah, I think this raises a couple of interesting notions of how do you define benefit in a relationship? Now, to some degree, I think you could look at the notion of being submissive and say, oh, the submissive has to do all this work and the dominant gets to do this, gets to just be taken care of and whatever, right? But I think that that negates the core benefit of a relationship, which is the intimacy and the opportunity to truly be yourself and to let down the mask of the persona in a way that is witnessed in a loving and trusting environment. And so the same benefit accrues to both dominants and submissives in that context, because the opportunity is just to be yourself and to be intimate there. Now, if that is not yourself, well, then you shouldn't be submissive. But if that is yourself, then the opportunity here is to gain the joy of a truly deep and intimate relationship. Now, in terms of more practical benefits, and those matter, and I would never say that they don't, there is still an exchange of value. There is the exchange of value of domestic work versus monetary work or economic work outside the home. There's the exchange of value of something like love or affection and respect or admiration. Those matter differently on average to men and women. And so that's another form of value exchange. The value of safety and protection being taken care of versus the value of being taken care of by having what I've considered sexual security or sexual safety is how much of our lives, as we're both single, how much of our lives is based around trying to figure out how to get laid, how to date, how to find a partner. Whereas when you're with a partner, there is a significant value in them providing you with sexual security, that your sexual needs will be met, and that's baked into your life now. All of these are forms of value exchange, and I think that that benefit then is quite significant. She's talking about what is the benefit for a submissive. It's that opportunity to tap into the shadow. We talk so much about the
Hey
persona
guys, I got
and the
something to
shadow.
say about value exchange.
Okay.
So I'll go straight up Presbyterian on you. This is the Westminster Standards. This is inherent in their hierarchy. Notice it's not just a enforcing of hierarchies, beating them down with titles and stuff, but they're actually duties that come along with being an inferior, superior, or equal. And it says, so people say, well, he just wants to be a patriarchal and beat down on the woman. No, that's not what's going on. Question 129 of the larger catechism. What is required of superiors towards their inferiors? And I'll do inferiors to superiors in a minute. It is required of superiors, according to that power they receive from God and that relation wherein they stand, to love, pray for, and bless their inferiors, to instruct, counsel, and admonish them, countenancing, commending, and rewarding such as do well, discountenancing, reproving, and chastising such as do ill, protecting and providing for them all things necessary for soul and body, and by grave wise holding an exemplary carriage to procure glory to God, honor to themselves, and to preserve that authority which God hath put upon them. Then we can go to inferiors.
Okay, hold on. Chastisement.
Okay.
Reproof. Hey,
Yeah.
those things hurt, but they don't harm. So, my preface to this probably is playing out.
And let's do inferiors. Question 127. What is the honor that inferiors owe to their superiors? The honor which inferiors owe to their superiors is all due reverence in heart, word, and behavior, prayer and thanksgiving for them, imitation of their virtues and graces, willing obedience to their lawful commands and counsels, due submission to their corrections, fidelity to, defense, and maintenance of their persons and authority, according to their several ranks and their nature of their places, bearing with their infirmities and covering them in love, that so they may be an honor to them and to their government.
I'm going to take a bit of a military bent with this. So,
It could be applied that way, yeah.
well, but I'm looking for different allegories of how this works in other factors of life that maybe aren't so charged, shall we say? Okay, a general, they're the superior, right? They give an order.
Yes.
I want you to attack that hill and take that hill, right? Okay, that is the command. And that is their duty and right to command you. However, the general also must provide you with the tools and provisions to go take that hill. You need ammunition, you need food, you need clothes, you need weapons, you need an enormous amount of stuff. So,
Yeah,
for example,
you don't need to be like Pharaoh saying make these bricks and you lack what is necessary to make the bricks.
right, exactly. So, for example, uh, Elena does all the food shopping at our place. Okay. She has a car. She has access to financial resources to exchange for goods. She has everything she needs to achieve her assigned task. Oh no, I used the phrase assigned task about a woman. That's right. Because she has been properly provisioned to do that task. And in her case, she actually does it without complaint, ladies. She doesn't complain about having to go get the groceries. She just does it. Okay. That's what and that goes back to what Nick was talking about with the inferior. And in the military, look, the general orders me to go take that hill. He's provided me with the provisions to do it. Now I got to go do it.
Hey, Plutarch, a couple weeks ago, we were having a discussion about are relationships transactional?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And Elena was kind of struggling with that. But is an exchange of values, is that transactional? Or
Would have
is
to be.
that why? I mean, Dr. Orion Terabin talks about transactional relationships. Okay, it's an exchange of values. You have things you need to bring to that relationship, to
Yep.
bring to the other person.
Yeah.
That's a duty.
Yep.
You can't just receive. And, when we keep on with this, watching this video, these guys are going to touch on that. So in some ways, yeah, all relationships are transactional, but it's not about scorekeeping. I'll bring this and then she will return value to me. No,
Yes.
it don't keep score, but in some aspect, yeah, it's transactional.
Well, okay, Steve, I actually want to pull on that a little bit because there's something here that I think that often gets missed. Yes, there is a foundational element of transaction in a relationship. But this idea that is all relationships are, I think I actually think it's a very feminine idea. because look who's constantly reducing relationships to what they can get. Well, it's women,
it's not what they give.
right? And when you're talking about what you can get, a woman, women understand the nature of transactional relationships. They're
Mhm.
more than willing to spread their legs in exchange for certain benefits. I mean, how many times have we talked about what was my favorite saying from Rollo? They always get naked, right? Like they do. So women inherently understand that there is transactional value to relationships. You know, like, okay, but thinking that there is only transactional value in relationships is actually highly feminine, because that's how women think. Women think only in terms of transactions, when there really is quite a bit more to it. You know, you're talking about not keeping score. Not keeping score is commonly talked about in Christian terms. Nick, I'm sure you could quote the correct. I believe it was.
Well, you're not if you forgive somebody, you're not holding it against them, and you're
Right.
not supposed to just, hey, not to have like an Excel spreadsheet. Well, you do this checklist.
Oh, but Nick, don't we talk about how women are always bringing up all the things we didn't do or that we did do that they didn't like? You know, the women have the spreadsheet in their heads. Okay.
And they advocate it.
Beware of covert
they say-
contracts, though. Beware.
When they say, "Oh, do chore play," and then
Mhm.
we will have, we will be so pleased and the stress will be taken off of us. We'll have sex with you if you do the chore play. Does it ever work?
No.
But that's advocating the transactional, a superficial transactional, not getting to the real essence of what value is. She's not trying to bring value. She's not even thinking about that. It's what you do for me. I might do something in return.
Right. But I think that the key point here is that I keep wanting, and I'm going to keep wanting to touch on this throughout this, is that women viewing relationships as only transactional is feminine. But I'm also going to say this to the guys out there: viewing relationships as transactional gives women power over you, because they know that they have something inherent to them that I know this isn't true, but that in their minds costs them nothing, that they can use to extract resources from you, and you walk around, with that pink thing hanging out, going, oh, she made my dick wet again. Oh, I got to give her stuff. Oh, she wants this, she wants that.
Yeah,
But this is
women
what
have.
women say they want. They want to dominate men. They don't realize that in the end they're going to be disgusted by these guys.
No, the women don't realize that, of course, but that's
No. Women all have GPS. Golden
that?
pussy syndrome.
Yes.
You and your three-letter.
By virtue of their golden pussy, they can trade that for anything in the world.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, that's
That's
yes,
great. That's great, Steve. GP.
But that's what we're talking about here. Women have something that they know that you are biologically wired to want, and they know that all they have to do to get something from you is to give you that thing. There was I don't know if you guys remember this TV show, Scrubs, and there's this scene where Carlo, I think one of the nurses, she's married to one of the doctors on the show, and she's talking with another girl doctor about sex, and she said they're talking about different acts, and she says, oh, no, I'm saving that act for a tennis bracelet. And they never actually say what it was, because it doesn't matter. The whole point was, I'm saving that her this it was like this $5,000 tennis bracelet that she wanted. It's like, right, but there was this thing that she was willing to do in exchange for a piece of jewelry. Okay, gentlemen, women think like that, and they know that if they withhold certain things from you and then say, oh, look, you know, and here's how it works too. And the show actually goes through this. She never actually tells Turk. She never actually tells Turk what it is that she will do for him. He knows that she wants the bracelet. He knows what she wants. She never actually tells him what she'll do. And so when he gets it for her, then he gets what the thing. She doesn't tell him what he's going to get for it. He has to give it to her to find out. Look, women are masters at the game of transactional relationships. Okay? If you engage in purely transactional relationships, you are going to a woman's level where they can beat you with
experience.
Yeah, with incredible experience.
Mm-hmm.
Look at her smiling down there.
If the man accepts and goes along with her GPS, he's not being dominant. She's in control of the relationship.
110%.
So, should we keep watching this?
Sure.
Part of you that has to be strong on the outside and do all these things. But for a submissive woman, the shadow is that part that wants to not have to do it all, to let someone else deal with making all the decisions, to just go along, have less stress, just feeling being taken care of, taking pleasure in the joy of another person, giving them as much as you can, giving them all of yourself, and that sensation of showing them how much you care by making that even sacrifice in a lot of ways, to stop having to fight and negotiate for everything, to be small and little and safely contained and taken care of, and to not have to constantly defend your pride, but just to be able to be yourself. And so that, I think, are some of the things that I've heard submissive women say as the benefits. I'll just leave to you with this. On so many of the forums around dominance and submission with people that have adopted these roles, you will hear the same question asked in reverse. Is you'll hear submissive women often saying, I can't believe I'm this lucky. What does he get out of it? Like, right. I don't understand why he would take this on, because I feel like I'm getting so much the better end of the stick, because they're being taken care of and loved in the ways that they need, and they don't have the stress of decision making or earning or fighting or any of those things, and they almost can't believe that someone else would take those things from them.
I think that
hold on. This decision making, it's a key. If you tell your woman, significant other, wife, girlfriend, oh, let's go out to eat, and then you follow up with the question, where would you like to go? She kind of gets frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, damn, she's got to make a decision. She's got to search her mind and figure it out and say where she doesn't want to do that. So don't do that. Say, let's go out and eat, and let's go to this place. Chances are you'll then be able to say, oh, yeah. Or then there's the leadership thing. She can say, well, you know what? I'm not really into that. And she'll suggest another place. But absent that leadership of saying, this is what I want you to do, and relieve her of that burden of making the decision.
So
then she can just enjoy.
So this actually came up here at our house recently. We've been under some inclement weather. We live up in the Great White North, and so we have a schedule. Elena and I, we both had like our schedules, okay, and but the weather comes up and it's like, oh, well, I don't think I'll be able to do the normal thing on the normal schedule. So I told her, okay, we're going to do this tonight instead of tomorrow night. And she goes, okay, as long as it's, we enjoy fish from a certain restaurant in the area that I won't name because it's a local place. But, and that's part of our thing. It's part of our diet. Okay. Well, don't want to go tomorrow night because it'll be snowing and slippery and that would be a bad idea. We'll go tonight instead. And she's like, oh, okay. I don't care. I just want my fish.
See, that's just such a simple thing. When the man does that, says, okay, we're changing our schedule. We're going out to eat. Here's where we're going.
Mm-hmm.
He's showing dominance.
Now,
you guys don't think of that, but dominance does not have to be a big grand thing. It shows up in the little areas too. It's the dynamic.
And in fact, it is and this could be my opinion, although I'm going to state it as fact because I've seen what happens when you don't do this. Those little things are small little signals. It's like a little bite of food for your woman. Oh, he's still in control. Oh, he's still thinking about what to do, when to do it. He still has command of everything. Now, of course, everyone knows Valentine's Day is coming up. Okay, it's next Friday. Oh boy, we'll probably even have to do a stream on it on Saturday. I'm sure that there's ideas rolling around that. Yeah, she's laughing down there. See, okay. Now she has a different restaurant that she likes going to for Valentine's Day, and I said, look, this year it's going to be really hard. It was basically impossible to get a reservation last year, and I said, okay. Could we do it the day before? What did she say? She said, oh, that makes sense. Okay. So I didn't say, she has this idea. She has this vision of what she wants Valentine's Day to look like. And I didn't immediately step on it and say, no. I said, okay.
I don't do Valentine's Day.
Well, okay.
Whole day's a massive covert contract. No. No.
Fair enough. We don't do much, to be perfectly fair. Mostly this is an excuse. She likes champagne and we actually don't drink much. So mostly this is an excuse for her to get a glass of champagne.
Yeah.
But the point is even in that, I turned it around and I said, well, does it have to actually be, like on Valentine's Day? Because that's a really hard day to get, reservation. Could we do it the night before? So it's like, okay, again, it's like she puts this out there as something she would like.
And we don't go out much at all. I mean, we are mostly at home.
Right.
Right. So it's like, okay, once a year we can get out somewhere.
You're saying you're not going to give her the $5,000 tennis bracelet in hope that she'll do the sexual act that you've been wishing for?
No, because she does. Okay, I won't keep.
What about a bag of Skittles?
I won't keep going with that sentence, but I don't. Here, I'll say it this way: I don't need to give her $5,000 tennis bracelets. But yet,
isn't Skittles good enough?
Nick.
They were talking about that on Rule Zero this morning, so
so but there's no, and I think based on the intro to this video that we're going to get into that concept of dominant masculine presence versus tyrant. See, the tyrant will say, no, we have to do it my way, because I am the tyrant.
Right. Well, let's continue.
Go ahead.
The core of this question really comes down to how in modern society we are changing the idea of what the responsibilities are or the roles are of a man versus a woman in relationships. And this is a post-feminist kind of phenomenon where we decided that there's no such thing as a hierarchy of values, that everything is equal and the same, and therefore men and women are the same, and therefore their responsibilities are the same. And therefore, the notion that one partner should wear the quote unquote pants in the family, which is one way of phrasing the dominance, or an old school way of phrasing dominance, that idea is an anathema, that there's something deeply wrong about that, and doing that is a step backwards in our progress. And I think the pendulum kind of swung too far, right? She's saying that she doesn't really see the benefit there at all, as if the calculus being used is, well, what am I getting out of it from a monetary point of view or from an emotional point of view? It's a very calculating kind of approach, whereas a lot of the times this is a matter of identity. People identify with each other. Dominance identifies dominance because they have a submissive that treats them as a dominant, and the reverse is true as well. The other thing that she says as well is that, quote, I am quoting here, she says, a woman doesn't even have to be remotely submissive or agreeable to get a man. And she's not wrong. In our modern society, if you're on any of these dating apps, or you are a woman who is above average in appearance, then it is not very difficult at all to get a man. Now, what is difficult is to get a good man and to keep a good man. That's a whole different sort of kettle of fish. And the parlance of the red pill.
Okay, Elena, you nodded your head. Time for you to talk and give your opinion on all these words.
Well, it's easy to spread your legs and just have sex with any guy, pretty much, right? But to keep the man that you actually want and have respect for, it's going to be work. It's much harder to be in a long-term relationship than to,
Are you saying that there's more to a relationship than spreading your legs as a woman?
Yes.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. And look, I while he was talking, I actually made a note here, and it's relevant to what we talked about previously. I think that women are trying to compensate the lack of men's dominance with the things that they can get from that man. So if he's a simp, and women know that he's a resourceful simp, they try to squeeze as much from that man as they possibly can. And I did share with you a video on my Instagram. It was sent to me by my dad yesterday. Some people think that Russian women are better than Western women. Guys, go watch that video. When a woman starts demanding things from a man, like expensive bracelets, trips, and all of this princess treatment, she prioritizes the things but not the man. And then if a man is lacking dominance, he's going to try to buy her love, he's going to try to buy her commitment and respect, maybe. But yeah, it doesn't work. This is why I never asked my husband, I have some jewelry pieces, but I'm not obsessed with these things, and it's.
I got a good story here.
Go for it, Nick.
I know these particularly two people really well. I won't mention who they are. Some of you might be able to figure it out. So I noticed that there's this one person, this couple, and they've been married for a long time. The woman started acting more rebellious, right? And what did the man do? He started making more money, becoming very successful, but she started becoming rebellious, discontent. But there was this really nice car she liked. It was a BMW convertible. And it was a blue one. So as the relationship was going down the drain, guess what he got her for Christmas?
A car.
Do you think it worked?
No.
He got her that nice blue BMW car, but it was the wrong color. It wasn't the right shade of blue that she wanted, and
Oh.
fit ensued. Let's just say they were divorced about a year later.
Well, at the moment it becomes transactional, like women want to get as much as
No,
they
no,
can.
no, not transactional. All relationships are transactional to some degree. No, what happened here is this woman recognized that her guy was not dominant. Okay. And so instead, she loses respect for him.
Yeah.
Okay. But he still has resources. He still has things that she will need post-divorce.
Mm-hmm.
And so she uses the fact that he's not dominant, that he won't say no to her
Mm-hmm.
to get those things. And
Yeah,
then
well,
when she gets them a year later, divorced. Okay. So when a man is not dominant, when a man does not say no, the woman loses respect. And when you lose respect, a woman cannot love a man she does not respect. We've said it before. We are going to say it again.
yes.
If a woman does not respect you, she cannot love you. But guys, she will put on a show for you if she
Mhm.
thinks she can get something from you.
Yeah.
So
Well,
part of
and then
being
it will be purely transactional at that point. you know, like,
exactly
this is what I was trying
this
to
is
say. Yeah.
so the relationship devolves into pure transaction.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. What that then means is that relationships of pure transaction are inherently feminine. It goes back to what I said earlier.
Yes.
We did a show, I led it, on the mask she wears. And that's about kind of how a woman changes her behavior, finds God, becomes this purity embracing creature right before she finds as she finds the nice guy and gets married. And then, since she's pure, she's going to be loved for being pure, and they're going to have an egalitarian, complementarian marriage, and there's no hierarchy, dominance, and submission. And that goes on for about 7 to 10 years. And something's missing, and then she files for divorce. Anne has to go find herself because all along she was wearing the mask of purity. Now, these guys early on, a few minutes ago, said that the dominant submission dynamic gives her the freedom to be herself and not have the burden of being an equal or making the decisions. She can just be who she is. But in the purity, a Christian purity marriage, that is an aspect that's often missing. And I think you should go back and watch that that show on the mask she wears on our other channel, The Resurgence of Sanity.
I think she can't be who she is if a man is a simp. She can't be who she is without a dominant man.
True. Yep. Okay, let's continue.
Community, you could end up having sex with a really beautiful girl, but where the red pill community falls apart is that they have no idea then how to keep the girl. And in a similar way, if you're a very attractive woman, you could go to some bar, you could get the man, but it would not be very difficult at all. But keeping the man in a long-term relationship that is healthy and stable and full of mutual love and respect, that is a whole different problem set. And that is not in my opinion, it does not work well when it's predicated on absolute equality of responsibility. And equality too is like a very strange word as well. Like, what does it mean to be equal? Does it mean that we should have the same physical strength? Does it mean that the relationship is unequal if I decide to get a job that pays more than your job? Because if I do that, then, well, we're not equal. And should I then scale down and get a job that pays less? When we are going to a restaurant or planning a vacation together, should we split the expenses down the middle, even though I may be making more money than my partner? Is because that's also equality.
Or then do you scale it by percentage of your income? First of all, it gets very nitpicky, right?
Yeah.
That's the first thing. It's not a very loving environment. It's not a very giving environment. But secondly, I think one of the central issues you raised is, in the modern era, both men and women, both the red pill, the arguments that I have with them, and the feminist, both are approaching intimate relationships with the question of, what can I get? How can I extract value from this? Right.
The implication is that it's a zero-sum game. Both parties are approaching it as a zero-sum game.
Perhaps, yeah.
I want to stop it there, because I think we've talked about this without really talking about this in some of our other videos. The idea so one of the things that's a charge that's frequently leveled at the red pill is that the red pill is just feminism for men.
Yeah, that's the accusation that they get.
And we have frequently said, no, the red pill is not feminism for men, because the red pill offers provable truth, where feminism does not. That's true. However, it does that does not address what people choose to do with it. People choose to do with the truth. And so what these guys are talking about is this mutual extraction of value. And we've talked about Nietzscheanism before.
Yes.
And that is the concept of mutual extraction of value is central to Nietzschean philosophy. That the Nietzscheans are throwing up their arms saying, oh, that's not what Nietzsche actually meant. That's not what I don't really care what Nietzsche actually meant or actually said. I'm only interested in how people apply what he said in practice. So you can leave your appeal to purity arguments, your no true Scotsman arguments. You can put those away. That's not what I'm talking about. So, men and women, we've noticed that interpersonal relationships between men and women seem to be getting more and more hostile. Okay. And the red pill was not, and this is where I would push back a little bit against these guys. The red pill was not always about this Nietzschean construct of resource extraction or value extraction from women. Okay. There was a whole subreddit, Married Red Pill. A lot of the things that as red pill truths today were actually teased out and explored, and like the actual discoveries were done on Married Red Pill by a bunch of dudes who were trying to fix or improve or salvage their marriages. Okay. Now, I understand. I'm talking about older red pill. I'm not talking about the kind of post 2019, 2020 red pill that we got. I'm talking about this would be probably 2014, 2016, somewhere in there, when this stuff was going on.
7 man's days.
Yeah,
7 man's days.
7 man's days.
Yeah, well, there's two aspects. The red pill can comprise both. The pickup artist side is how to extract value from women.
Yes.
The married red pill, or the other side, is how to bring value to women. Okay, that's good. But it can also involve or be taken to a covert contract. How can I
Mhm.
bring value to her in order that I can receive the value that I want? Okay, that's problematical too.
Right,
That's
buy
the
her the
nice
tennis
guy
bracelet.
syndrome.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Take you on expensive trips.
So
Yeah.
so the key is, how do you bring value without serving her? I mean, how does a man bring value and maintain his dominance? And then women, gotta ask women this. What value do you bring? Figure out the value you should bring to the relationship, not just your golden pussy. There
Steve,
has to be more.
but the women are the table, don't you know?
I've
Yeah.
heard that.
Oh, and the problem also, I see a lot of trends that are creeping out in the manosphere, that it becomes more about like threat cons. Like you please her better, you serve her better, and then she
No,
will put out more.
that's more of a natural result of be. So in order for a purely transactional relationship to work, where the woman the problem with a purely transactional relationship with a woman is it goes back to what I said earlier. Her value is innate, okay? Therefore, and it's givable without immediate consequence. Now, we've talked about the consequences to women before of giving it out too freely, but there is no immediate consequence for doing so. Therefore, she does not think about it this way for all you value guys out there. The woman does not value her pussy like you do. Okay. Now, she's putting a high price tag on the pussy, but she is opening her legs to anybody willing to pay the price. When somebody's willing to give it give it away to anybody, that is the actual value signal, not the dollar value that they put on it. It's how are they willing to give it away to just anybody who okay. My
Not
point.
anybody, but
Well,
like
but anybody who's willing to meet
who is
their
willing. Yeah.
right. Okay. So what she's really telling you is that its value, the value of GPS is the value of her golden pussy is strictly limited to whatever somebody's willing to pay for it. We have a term for that. I can't say that on YouTube. Okay. But when women do that, they streetwalker. There we go. Okay. You're and the red pill has talked about this, right? At some point, we are all just negotiating. Women are just negotiating over the price of it. There's that whole, well, would you have sex with me for $100? No, of course not. Well, would you have sex with me for $1 million? Well, I'd have to think about that. So we've agreed that you're for sale. We're just negotiating over price right now. Okay. Women have that built into them. Okay. But when you don't understand that women are always just negotiating over the price of it, and you see that men who are willing to meet the price get the pussy, you're going to go, oh, well, all I have to do is meet the price. Okay. Now,
Can I build on that?
Go for it.
It's a give. Men are encouraged to give in order to get.
Yes.
This becomes kind of twisted in the Christian church. The man should be the servant leader. You serve and lead her where she wants to go with the covert contract of then you will get her submission. But in actuality, yes, if a man takes the servant leader model unconsciously, it enables her to become the victim master.
Oh, yes.
Think about that. Yeah, does that describe your post-divorce situation? The victim master, Nick?
Mhm.
Certainly describes mine.
Oh, yeah. And a lot of the church just keeps simping. Oh, victim. Oh, poor me. We must protect a woman.
Well, and notice it's never enough.
He's a bad man. He's a deadbeat. He's this. Yeah.
No
Victim
matter what
master.
they do, no matter how much they simp, no matter how many things she gets from a man, it's never going to be enough.
No,
Because
no.
all she needs technically is good dick, right? She needs her husband to be dominant and to tell her what
Well,
she should
no,
do.
no.
and-
She needs more than that. She does need basic safety and security.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and she does need, you know, a basic. You know, she does need some level of financial resources. Remember how I opened this. Elena goes shopping. Elena does not concern herself with where the money comes from to go shopping.
pretty
Right?
much, yeah.
Now, if there's provision and security or protection, if a woman feels entitled to that,
Yes.
entitlement
Mhm.
is a right without a duty. She doesn't value what you're bringing because she's entitled to that.
Correct.
I think, okay, so, you know, this whole discussion of dominance and submission has uncovered a lot of truths. There's a lot more to come. So, has it been useful going to the BDSM community and listening to this stuff?
Yeah.
Truth comes out somewhere.
Yeah. I was just going to say that. You know, it's like, we have to go where the truth is. We do not, as men and thinkers, have the luxury of demanding that the truth come to our preferred view of the world. That is what feminists do. In fact, I would argue that that is the core of the feminist philosophy, is this idea that if they falsify preferences enough, that they can pull the world into becoming what they want it to be, using very 1984 tactics. So if you guys have read George Orwell, he actually talks about this idea that if you can just remove words from a language, you can actually remove concepts from a language.
Oh yeah, you can program yourself into
Right.
thinking positivity
It's-
and all of these positive vibes and
Here's the problem. It turns out that it's not actually true.
Mhm.
Because reality, because truth, there is an objective reality, there is an objective truth. And those truths are constantly intervening. Okay? We can push them off, we can push them back. And everyone's noticing that, sort of like the past couple weeks politically, the leftist worldview is it looks like it's kind of fallen apart. Well, because the leftist worldview has been somewhat shown to be a Potemkin village of ideas that have no merit and value and no basis in truth. Okay, that's kind of my point. The feminists are having the same problem. They have no truth, so they have to manufacture it and try to push it on you and get you to go along with their untruth. Okay, so
All away.
I figured you'd say that. But my point here is that when it doesn't matter who is doing this, it can be a man, it can be a woman, and Lord knows we've talked enough about men who go off and try and push feminist worldview with other women. It's like, okay, come on, there's the truth is. The reality you occupy is. We can modify our reality a little bit with our hands, but you cannot change your reality with just an idea. And this is what we're learning right now. You are watching a multi-decade project fall apart in real time because that multi-decade project has core concepts that have nothing to do with reality. And their shit's getting kicked in for it. Don't think that, you can do the same thing going the other way and that it's going to meet an any better end. It's not. Reality and truth exist. objectively. You can, I'm not going to say they're immutable because your choices and actions do have an impact on them, but you are far more a recipient of reality than you are a controller of reality.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was talking to this person yesterday. I was going on my walk, and there's this alligator on the path. Well, apparently, the community I am, they have to notify everybody in their contract to leave the gators alone. Don't bring your pets or kids near the alligators.
Oh my gosh.
Because
People do
apparently
that?
2 years ago, some idiot lady brought her tiny little dog right
Oh,
up to the
no.
alligator, and the alligator ate the dog.
Jesus, what did
As
you
alligators
expect?
do, right?
What did you
I'm like,
expect
oh,
was going to
you dumb
happen?
shit. Here's reality. Here's the truth, and you thought it was something else. No shit, the alligator ate.
I want to notice how they blame, like, oh, but there was no notification of, there was no notice that I shouldn't have brought the kid or the pet to the
Well-
alligator. It's like common sense. Turn your brain on.
No. Okay, so the 1984 strategy does work, but it's an imperfect strategy. These people have never seen an alligator, they've never seen an alligator in the wild. All they've seen him in a zoo, and they go, "Oh, that's cute."
Yeah.
Okay, they don't know because there's no concept in their mind that an alligator might eat little Fluffy. Okay,
Mhm.
and then so that was the 1984 version of the world. Okay, their reality had been edited by their circumstances to not include the idea that an alligator can eat Fluffy. But then reality intrudes. Fluffy got et. Right? And this is Steve, or sorry, Nick. I love this example because it perfectly illustrates in short form exactly what we're talking about here. Okay. You know, nope. Yes, you can falsify your reality for a time, and then you have an encounter with reality that does not go how you thought it would, and then you go, "Oh shit, what do you mean that reality isn't like that?" Yeah, no, it's a great example. But whenever you try to falsify reality, this is what's going to happen. You're going to get away with it for a while. And that's the thing that humans struggle with. It's going to work for a while. Feminism appeared to work for a while. Why? Because there were systems and procedures and programmed into humans that those humans carried through that kept the system, kept society functioning.
I just wonder, they usually talk about wild animals and how animals behave in zoology classes in school. So how come you don't know that these animals can be wild and dangerous?
No, that is, you would think that, but that actually requires an ability of abstract thinking. Okay, most people cannot say animal A. Like a lot of people. Okay, so you're talking about school. They've seen video of a lion eating a gazelle. Okay. Oh, lion, scary. I saw a video of lion eating gazelle. Lion. But if they never see a video of an alligator eating Fluffy, they don't connect it. You're talking about an abstract connection between one wild animal doing it and all being able of doing it. That is a higher IQ thing, and I hate to say it, but your average person can't do that.
There's another thing here. You're talking about head knowledge.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw a video. I know it can happen. I know. I read it in a book. I was taught this. Knowledge up here. Women especially make decisions based on their own personal experience. Watching something happen is not personally experiencing it.
Correct.
So the man bear question.
Mm-hmm.
Men have no experience of bears, but they do have experience of men. And I once saw this man or experience being hurt by a man. Hurt, probably not harmed, but I didn't like that. So I'm judging based on that experience. I don't want that, based on my experience. Oh, man bad. Oh, bear, I have no experience, so therefore that must be better. It's not a rational decision. It's an emotional, experiential decision.
Which is why it takes Andrew, half an hour to drag these women through the rational, abstract idea that the bear will eat you.
Oh my God.
This is why it takes Andrew so long to do this with these women. You just watched it explained right in front of you. Women.
This is why the man has to be dominant.
Yes.
Use his intellect to say, no, this is reality. Just follow along and you'll be safe. No, don't work it out by consensus, because she's going to bring in her experience and it might not even be valid. So it's going to lead you down the wrong path.
Experience.
Steve.
The gator will chomp on Fluffy.
Yes, the gator will eat. But Steve, you said something interesting about consensus. Okay, the women want to come to consensus. You'll see it on Twitter called the Longhouse, right? They all get together around the big fire and they discuss the problem and they come to a consensus. Okay, the problem with that is in science we call selection bias. Okay. Now, let's take the man versus bear argument. Okay. The bear eats, actually, survivorship bias is another version of this. The bear eats the woman, and then she doesn't show up in the longhouse anymore. Okay. And so all the women who have not had a personal experience of being eaten by a bear go, well, I've never been eaten by a bear. Surely the bear is better than the man because the man hurt me. Okay. And then another woman gets eaten by a bear. Okay. She's
So
gone.
women don't really care. What you're saying is women don't care about the experiences of other women. So
No. They care very much. I'm describing survivorship bias. Okay. The woman who had reality inflicted on her is no longer there to share her experience
with
okay.
other girls. Okay.
Feminism is the same way. All of this stuff is this, all the stuff we're talking about is the same way. All these women are all speaking from a lack of experience.
Or if we had one woman who was nearly eaten by a bear, but for some miracle she survived that. Let's say somebody killed a bear, right?
When we're dealing with
large
numbers of
then she can
people,
share your experience. Maybe then women will trust.
Well,
no. Okay, I'll tell you why. Consensus involves everybody talking. You have someone on one extreme and the other extreme. And this belief is, you find common ground. Well, common ground is always someplace in the middle. Isn't this concept negated by the laws of logic and specifically exclusion of the middle?
Yes.
Right. So what actually usually ends up happening is the majority of the women will say, well, I've never had a bad experience with a bear. And the one woman that did is, sitting there going, guys, you don't want to do this. You don't want to do this. And they go, don't listen to her. She's just the noisy minority. She doesn't know what she's talking about. All the rest of us have never had a bad experience with a bear.
Well, let them have this experience. Okay, send them to some island with the bears and let the bears eat them. The world will be
and the church do the same thing.
Yes.
The men adapt this in the church to the guys that leave or get zeroed out. Oh, but it's never happened to me. It never happens to the people that are here. We must be doing something right.
Yeah, how many times have I heard churches defend themselves by saying it doesn't happen here? To those churches, I would say this one thing. The reason it doesn't happen in your church is because it does. You just make sure that the people involved are outside of the church before it does, so that you can maintain your perfect record.
Yep.
There are churches that will push out couples that are going through, particularly if the man's involved. If the man's the one bringing the charges against the woman, they will just push the couple out so that they don't have to deal with it. You know, here's how it goes when you're talking to the pastor. The guy will say, "Oh, you know, she's doing this. You know, she's demanding this. She's, you know, she won't. You know, I ask her to do stuff, she won't listen." And the pastor will say, "Well, have you tried insert whatever servant leader bullshit thing that he's going to try and say?" And then the man says, "Yeah, you know, I tried that, and I tried that." You know, and then the pastor will say, "Well, you know, maybe this church isn't the church for you."
This is the subversion of dominance.
Mhm.
Okay, it's the basically the church saying, "Oh, men shouldn't be dominant. We don't want to talk about that. That's scary. You're not the leader in your home. You are the servant leader. So you need to serve her and lead her where she wants to go. That because she's crying, I'm the victim. He should do this." So by getting victimhood status, he can become the master and tell him what to do. And yet they cannot talk. They cannot even accept this concept that you need both dominance and submission, and authority is authority, and there's a hierarchy. It's not in the church, which is why we have to discuss it and go to where the truth is to explore this idea.
Well, guys, I want to throw an idea here and see what you think about it. Without pain, without hurt, it just leads to harm. So when men don't hurt their woman in a good way, right, by saying no, by restricting her, by setting boundaries and healthy expectations, they are actually harming a woman long term.
That is correct. And this has actually been long understood. In order to build discipline, going back to the gym metaphor that I opened with, in order to build discipline, I must undergo hurt. I must undergo pain. Okay. But okay, going back to the gym metaphor, let's say, you know, I've been building up and building, you know, let's say I can bench 200, but I decide tomorrow that I'm going to go out and I'm going to bench 400. And I can hear the gym bros cringing. Yeah, because you know what's going to happen when I do. It ain't going to be pretty, and there's going to be an ambulance involved. Okay. So I have to keep going through the hurt of building myself up to being able to take the 400. Okay. I can't skip. So
that's all internal to you. I think Elena's getting at, you as a man have to hurt the ones you love.
Yes.
If you love them, you will hurt them. Now,
Yes.
There's a simple analogy. Children, you have a young, 4, 5, 6-year-old. You're walking with a child, they're skipping ahead, and they don't look when they're crossing the street. And they run out, and the car comes up, screeches to a stop. And what do? You grab that child, you bring him back, give him a firm swat on the ass, good talking to. You actually hurt the child. Well, because you have to provide the discipline and the boundary. No, you can't do that.
Steve,
you will harm yourself.
Steve, I want to draw this back though. Can you, as a parent, provide good discipline and boundaries without having good discipline and boundaries yourself?
Absolutely not.
Okay. So before you become a parent, you need to already have been disciplined. And typically that would have been done by your father when you were a child. But now we have all these mommies out here, these single mommies, who were raised by single mommies, who have never experienced, who've never had that sort of external discipline. Look, it's not the
Well,
kid's
even
fault.
sons,
No, no,
even sons are being raised by single mothers.
well, yes,
and they
but
don't have discipline.
for now, we'll just go with this, because a child, there is a bit of innocence there because they don't know.
Yeah.
They just don't know. So somebody has to enforce those boundaries on them who does know. That's what you were talking about with the child running out. Okay.
Okay. The single mother. How does the single mother react? Theoretically, not all. But,
Right.
oh, I was so scared for you.
Mhm.
Oh, did you feel hurt by that? Here, let me give you a hug. Oh, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't scare me that way. Blah, blah, blah. He's trying to soothe the child's feelings instead of providing the discipline, call it hurt, that no. Boom, you violated a boundary here. And here's some correction. Here's some reproof. Here's some chastisement. God chastises those whom he loves. And we learn, I learn from pain. I don't learn shit when things are going good.
Yeah, that's
I
so
don't either.
true. When it hurts, that's when you learn.
Right.
Well, here's my proposal. We are about halfway through this video. I think our discussion has been just phenomenal. But we're approaching 2 hours. I think we should get about halfway through this video and then do the next half next week or in 2 weeks.
Let's do it.
You want to do that? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's fine. For me, yes.
Okay, let's continue on. Well, we're at 8.5 minutes out of 19 minutes. So, yeah, we're almost halfway, and then we can do closing comments. We'll go maybe up to 10 minutes or so, or wherever a good breaking point is.
Yeah. At the very least, they're not approaching it with the notion, hey, what can I give? Who can I provide value to? I am this type of person. I have this value to provide. Who will value that? Who can I find that I can give this to? And knowing what things you really have to give, and then finding a partner that will value those things. And the step that the feminists in particular don't want to take, and I give a little bit more credit to the red pill side of things in this, is to say, look, if you have an ideal partner, if you have someone, a type of person in mind, you have to figure out what things that type of person would value. If you want a really successful man who's tall and keeps himself in shape and is powerful and attractive for all these reasons, do you really think he wants someone disagreeable? Do you really think he wants someone who is not herself fit? Do you think so? You have to figure out that, okay, hey, maybe the value I have to give is my ability to earn $30 an hour as a assistant somewhere. Okay, well, what type of man is going to value that? Is that the type of man you want to be with? If it is someone who would derive a significant amount of value from you earning $30 an hour? Because if I'm earning a lot more than that, then that doesn't provide me with a lot of value. Even up to, hey, I'm a PhD and I'm doing all these things and whatever. Okay, there's some interest there. I think you can provide me with intellectual value. You can provide me with the value of interesting conversation. And that's not nothing. But it's also not the biggest factor for me in what I want in an intimate relationship. I get that from you. I get that from my other guy friends. So if you're saying, oh, hey, we'll have amazing intellectual conversations, but I'm not really into having sex that much, or I'm not going to go to the gym or keep in shape, well, I don't particularly value intellectual conversation in an intimate relationship that highly. And so you're providing me with value that I don't want. And yes, you will have trouble. You can get a man, but are you going to be able to get the man that you want if you're not providing the values that he cares about?
Yeah, and that word values is, I think, central to this conversation. The sense that there is a should in what a man could provide, what a woman could provide, and that it's not just this amorphous blob of quote unquote equality, where there is no sort of hierarchy of values, where there's value in a feminine energy and there's value in a masculine energy. We've got into a society where those words themselves, like masculinity, is considered somewhat toxic because it seems to recount a time when there was a lot of misogyny. And even the modern interpretations, coming back to the whole red pill movement, where
we can stop there. What
Okay.
what they're talking about, and this is probably going to come up more, is, and I think if you actually read Nietzsche, he would understand what they're saying. But and I said this before, there is no coherent philosophy of Nietzsche. People have tried. Smarter men than us have tried. Probably the closest to coherence I've seen is Walter Kaufmann's work on Nietzsche. Okay, but when you're dealing with an incoherent philosophy, what people are always going to do is they're going to take the parts they like and they're going to jettison the parts they don't. Well, what the feminists did is they said, well, we like the part where we get things. We exchange, and remember, the feminists don't want to even exchange sex. Like they think that they should just get things for existing.
Yeah.
Okay. That has its roots in Nietzscheanism. It's Derrida and Foucault. It's called Nietzsche-structuralism. And it's been around since the 60s. It is actually one of the key points of the sexual revolution and modern day feminism. You can go read about it if you really want to read Derrida and Foucault. I guess understand your enemies. The point that I'm trying to make here is that what these guys are talking about is a more realistic exchange of values, a more realistic understanding of values. When I'm looking at what a woman provides, well, of course she needs to provide sex. Of course, that's what men want in a woman, like that. But you also want a woman who can take care of offspring. You also want a woman who can take care of, the house. And what, he was saying, oh, well, these women, talk about their PhDs. Oh yeah. Yeah, an intellectual conversation is nice, but it isn't very high on my list of things that I value. So I don't value it very much. And yeah, the women don't understand that feminism is trying to tell women that men value what women value. Or even here's a list of things that all parties should value. I think feminists, particularly modern intersectional feminists, take it that far. That they would look at what the women value and the men value and say, no, all of that's invalid. Here are the things you actually should value. And that's where you get this cultural Marxism from. Okay. It becomes even more about, here's the list of prescribed values that all humans should aspire to. Again, that comes out of French Nietzsche-structuralism in the 60s. Derrida and Foucault were big on this. This is not particularly new. It's not particularly hard to, find. They wrote about it. It's been talked about ad infinitum. So, but my point here is that consider this. If a woman can't get a man because she's not valuing the thing, because she's not understanding what a man values. The question I would ask to the red pill is, are you making your necessity a virtue? Are you having, are you saying, well, I just spin plates because that's all you can do? Because you don't know what the woman is actually valuing out of that relationship.
Well, and I think that they are compensating for their lack of masculinity by buying her expensive gifts.
I mean, that's a whole nother conversation that, we're 2 hours in.
Yeah. Well,
this is what Plutarch is kind of saying, is all this equality is stressed. Men and women are equal. What a silly thing to say. It leads you to the wrong conclusion. Then you think, well, men and women are going to value the same things. No, they're not. Forget about this concept of equality.
Exactly.
Yes. Okay. We are equal in worth to God. Okay.
Yep.
That's the end of it. Other than that, we are different. And if you understand, women are different from men, men are different from women. As men learn that your woman does not value the same things you value. She doesn't react or change her mind based on logical argument. She's different. Her mind operates different. You got to understand she's different. And for women, he's different than you. He's not going to be emotional. Don't expect him to show the same level of emotionality, to be ruled by his emotions and his decisions and everything. And don't expect him to value what you tell him he should value about you.
Exactly. That's really where I was trying to get. Don't expect him to value what you tell him to value. Right now, we have multiple groups of men who are all running around, men and women, multiple groups of people running around telling people what they should be valuing. You need to value this, and because the tradcons do it, the left, the lefties do it, with their Marxism. Everyone's having this big thing about, we're having
then equate it. They make it equal for both men and women without
no. This is much more base than that. They are all trying to tell everyone else that their value set is the ideal value set, and everyone needs to just agree with their value set. By the way, that is Marxist thinking. The reality is that there's not a whole lot of understanding of what the different values that the other person wants are. So,
well, this brings to my point, darling, that I was trying to make, that women wants different things than what men want in a woman.
Oh, no, well, okay. But we want different things in exchange for different things.
Yes.
So, for example, if you're a woman, you just got out of a nasty divorce, you're probably not looking for a long-term relationship. You probably want to go ride the carousel for a while. So you're going to put out value markers that will get you that. And those value markers look very different than what gets you a relationship. It's going to be, you're going to dress in tight, revealing clothes. That's a huge signal that you're looking for slutty behavior. Okay. So, we've talked about the mask she wears, the Madonna whore complex, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's what's going on there. She's telling you what she's valuing. Now, there are some men who are going to say, yeah, that's all I want. All I want is short-term women.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, they are going to have a set of things that they look for, the markers that they look for to determine, okay, this woman will give me what I want. They are not looking for short-term, or they're not looking for long-term. Sorry. They're looking for short-term.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not looking for women, and women know this. That's why they have the different masks. And then eventually when she gets tired of the carousel, she'll then start putting on the mask of purity and saying, oh, I've got to, I got to put out the markers of purity. Men do this too. Okay.
Men wear masks. Is this what you're saying?
No. Men put out different. Well, I don't know.
Yes. The
Yes.
nice guy. The
Yeah.
nice guy.
Oh,
nice guy's
That's
mask.
the
true.
equivalent of the purity thing in women.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I was
Yeah.
thinking about it, guys, because yeah, like okay, a simpy husband, a wife cheats on him maybe multiple times. There is no way it doesn't have an imprint on his brain, but he's suppressing it in him so that he keeps appeasing her.
No, he
Yeah, it's
honestly,
still
no,
maybe
he honestly
frustrates
thinks
him on some visceral level. You know, like
no.
No?
He has been told that he can buy her affection back with ever greater, expenditures of resources and energy and
But wouldn't he want to have a loyal woman who would stay with him and not cheat on him? Come on.
Absolutely.
sure.
But he takes a submissive role. Oh, I can submit to her desires. I can please her enough that she will love and be faithful to me.
Buying stuff for women is submission to women.
Yes.
It's an inversion of roles. It
Correct.
doesn't work for the man to become the submissive. Now, I know someone's going to say, well, I know of an exception. Great. Fine. I'll even grant your exception. But in general, it just doesn't work for the man to be the submissive partner or the submissive in the relationship. I actually hate that word partner.
Yeah.
Now, I said something, and I want to go back and I want to clarify it, because I said, a man buying things for women is submissive. I'm not talking about, groceries and, the necessary tools of life. I'm not talking about that. I am
You
talking
can
about,
still gift them things, but
well, right. Yeah. No,
but
but I'm,
covert contracts is what you're talking about.
yes,
The covert.
exactly. I'm talking the tennis bracelet contract that I brought up earlier, right? It's when you start buying things with the express purpose of thinking, oh, she's going to do this for me. Okay. Like, okay, you go to the grocery store, you buy food. Okay. That's not for me. I mean, it is because I need to eat too, but it's not, I have a covert contract with Elena that she's going to keep the fridge stocked. It's like, no, we both need to eat. Right. So there's, guys, don't take this to extremes, but when you start buying things with the express purpose of trying to buy a woman's attention, that's when you've subverted dominance.
Yeah.
Because now you're trying to use resources as a replacement for your own lack of frame, your own lack of dominance.
Well, even with basic stuff, see, women are so entitled and they are so spoiled because they don't need men for survival technically, because they can walk, right? We allowed them in the
Okay.
water. There was this comment by Tim. I wanted to get back to it because my screen was something is going on with my screen today, guys. I'm sorry. Feminism is the carrot the elites used to get the females into profitable existence, double the tax base.
Okay, he's talking about one thing, and it's something we've seen in the data that there was this idea that if we get women working, that it'll increase the tax base. What actually happened is it cut the salaries in half, and the tax base didn't increase because stupid people don't understand psychology. What I think you're getting at is women no longer need men to get the basics of life.
Exactly.
That's
this is why
true.
they don't value the basic things, because
Correct.
if they work themselves, they can buy all of those basic things themselves. And now we are talking about tennis bracelets. Now we are talking about fancy trips and expensive.
It's no accident that as women entered the workforce and started being able to take care of themselves, they became more disconnected and in terms of their demands of men.
Yes.
Okay. Why? Because she's got the basics.
Yeah.
Okay. How many of these women go on a show like Fresh and Fit, and they're all dressed up and, and then they actually start talking about their living situation, and they're basically living in these hovels, with a carton of milk in the fridge. And you hear all these women who's, oh yeah, I just have a different date every night, and that's how I eat, right? You know, they're not actually living these extravagant lifestyles. Men are providing it for them, but they tell themselves that because that they have the basics, that they deserve.
They deserve better things, yes.
Right.
Because they would much rather be single than be with a man who doesn't give them more of what they have, or
They
more
would-
of what
no,
they can
no.
get by themselves.
No,
you know?
they have the basics. Now they deserve
This is
more
exactly
than the
what
base.
I'm
They,
saying.
they,
They
they
can,
deserve a lifestyle now.
yeah, they want a man for specific purposes to give them more of what they can get for themselves. More of the basics.
No. You say get more of what they can get. Wrong. They can get the basics.
can't
They no
get it.
longer. If they want the things they can't get themselves.
Oh, true. Yeah,
Right.
that makes sense. Yeah.
What? I said this earlier.
Child support alimony. Child support alimony.
Yeah.
Entitlement is a right without a duty. And that is how they're behaving. They are entitled to this. It's their right to get it, but they have no duties. They
Mhm.
don't have to bring anything of value because they're just entitled.
Well, and well, it goes back to what Nick was saying: alimony and child support. We have set up a legal system that tells them from birth that they are entitled to things. So they've grown up their entire lives, usually from, they're single mommies being raised by single mommies. So all they've learned is that the system, from the system, is that they are entitled to even more and even more and even more, until eventually, a dude making $50,000 a year is supposed to provide them with a yacht.
Yeah.
And any guy who can't provide them with a yacht is broke.
Well, they replaced the masculine
But hey,
dominance.
this fruit. But hey, the fruit tastes so good. You should have your fruit.
I know where you're going with that, Nick.
Yeah, talking
Very
about the
clever.
serpent, huh?
Yeah, yes.
Goes back. Oh, but he can't. God has something. He's, you're not really gonna die. Oh, but you're gonna have your eyes open. Oh, but it looks so nice. She took that bite, the fruit.
Well,
ate and gave it to her
okay.
husband with her.
Well, Nick, but okay, let's bring it back to the yacht girls. That lifestyle looks so nice. It looks, you get free alcohol, free food. You get to go out. You get to take cool pictures on social media. You get to show everyone what a great life you have. The part they're not showing are the things they have to do in bed later that evening.
Yeah.
I think we mentioned in a recent episode the Dubai porta potty thing. You never see pictures of what they have to do. I mean, yeah, you get pictures of them on a yacht in the Gulf, right? Okay, you get all those pictures. You get them with the bikini. You never see what happens when the sun goes down. And that's what these women are doing to themselves. And then they get together in the longhouse and they all say, well, no one can, we don't see any women out there who are suffering from this. And so they say, oh, well, we deserve these things because, see, these are good things. Yachts are good things, right? Who doesn't want a yacht?
And all of a sudden, they're 40 years old, cats and box wine, single.
Pretty much. Because there's always another.
The fruit tasted so good.
Well,
somebody will still rescue me.
Well, you know what?
As the years go by.
There is a beautiful woman turning 18 every day. And I'm saying this to the women. There is a beautiful woman turning 18 every day. You will be replaced at some point.
So the advice is bring value to the man, and the value is way beyond your golden pussy. Yes, you can extract value from men using that, but for the long term, that's all you have to offer. It it's like the fruit. When it's ripe, it is good and tasty. But eventually, the fruit ages, becomes wrinkled and rotten, and then nobody wants it.
Yeah. Wrinkled.
So think about this. We have had a really good conversation here. It all started from submission to a simp and discussion of dominance and submission. We touched on hierarchy, the roles and duties of men and women. Hey, this is at the core of truth. And do you find this kind of discussion and analysis in the church? No. It's like everybody is going, well, reality, that's the worldly ways. This is how things should be. And then they're projecting about how it should be. And if I do what I should be doing, then I should be getting what I want to get. It's all an attempt to replace what is true with an ideal that is just exist in the land of should be.
Or it's based on their personal unique experience. This goes to my truth, your truth. Oh, but what you're saying,
Yes.
Steve, is only your truth. It's not the truth that I'm experiencing here.
Well, Tim, virtue signals.
Mhm.
The virtue signaling is it is an outgrowth of this idea of your truth, my truth. It is, but it's also an outgrowth of people need to. It's a value marker. A virtue signal is an attempt at a value marker. Now we call it virtue signaling because it's attempting to say that something is valuable when it's not. And so you're trying to signal some virtue that is not actually in the natural order. So, yes, all of that is there. Wow, we've been going for over 2 hours now.
It's been an interesting discussion.
It's I don't think any of us thought it would go this direction.
Yeah, the alligator will still chomp on Fluffy, no matter what you imagine the alligator to be like.
Yeah, right. There is no end to the reality intrusions in your life. Men, we're forced to deal with it at some level. Women, not so much because of golden pussy syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, eventually the chickens come home to roost.
I said not so much. Eventually we get there, but look, when you're 22, you're a 21-year-old woman, you can drink now. Oh man, now you become a real favorite of the yacht party, the yacht party people, because you can drink now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's a reason why college is so damaging to women, and it's because all of these things become available during college. They get access to men, they get access to alcohol, they get access to yachts.
Everything, whatever
they get access to everything
do.
right then.
Yeah. And they don't know how to manage it. Because they
never had a
restriction.
They were not disciplined.
Discipline, yeah.
Now, I want to make this very clear. Just because there is a dad, and that dad does teach discipline, does not preclude the woman from going off to college and being a whore.
Yeah.
And in fact,
plenty of them do it.
Well, I've told the story about.
I was the guy watching the fraternity parties. Oh, I have stories. I know.
well, and I've talked about the pastor's kid at my church. The pastor's daughter was the biggest whore in the church. It's not. Female nature is still there, guys. But if you teach discipline and enforce discipline on your young children, there is a non-zero chance that they won't be absolutely raving, completely irretrievable whores. Steve, I was thinking about this when you opened earlier. I was thinking about the Nala thing that's come up recently, and how and so the church is still simping out over Nala.
This is just the mask she wears.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
This is the same story we've seen time and time again. Promiscuous woman puts on the mask of purity, and everybody celebrates, and the church says, "Oh, great. Now you can lead us."
Yeah. So, there is a lot to say on this subject, which is probably why we have to do another one, isn't it?
Yeah,
Well, it's such a good discussion. Hopefully, our audience will think about these things. People who watch this over the next week, please join us in the future. We're not doing one next Saturday. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Oh, why?
Good.
What's going on next?
Wait,
you're going to be out of town, Elena.
Yes.
Oh, really?
We have a real life we have a reality intrusion next week.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. Sure. I forgot.
I have to tell Elena what she's doing next week because Plutarch told me, and I remember. He told her.
She probably told me too, and I don't remember.
Oh, I have told her more than once. I assure you, man, out there.
Yeah, I just remembered. Yeah.
See, this is just proof that Elena embraces the role of the submissive wife. Oh, she doesn't have to worry about it. Plutarch will tell her what they're gonna do, and she'll just, okay, I don't have to worry about the future because you got it under control, and I'll just go along with whatever you decide. Does that make life easy for you, Elena?
Yeah, I don't have to think about these things. And they are being taken care of,
It does make for funny moments on camera where she has no idea what's going on. But yes, yes, guys, there will be no show next week on Saturday. We do have a real life intrusion. Reality happens regardless. It would be great if I could just will myself to be able to do both things at once, but I can't do that. So real life takes priority, and that's how life works, guys.
So join us in 2 weeks and bring your questions and comments. We could use a lot more. We only have like 7 minutes left to go of the video. We have a lot more time to interact and answer questions and involve our audience. Audience participation is very welcome.
Yeah, guys, please do let us know what you think about this topic in the comment section if you are watching the replay. And if you leave the comments now, we probably will have to leave them for next week. Okay, in 2 weeks.
Guys, Wednesday on the Resurgence of Sanity, 7:45 Central. Oh, there it goes. Oh yeah, 7:45 Central on the Resurgence of Sanity, or 5:45 Pacific time. We're going to have a discussion on some old school red pill, some Dow Rock articles. So please join us for that discussion.
You mean there was a red pill before 2020? What?
Yes. Yes. Imagine that, guys.
So,
and it's talking about married red pill. Okay.
You mean there's more to
church.
red pill than spinning plates and tagging lots and lots of women? Oh my.
Yes. Yeah. Imagine that, guys.
Yeah, guys, please go subscribe to the Resurgence of Sanity YouTube channel. I shared the link in the description box and also in the chat. Yeah. and join them on Wednesday. They always make great shows. Yeah, and it would be interesting to see more of not the hookup culture and PUA in the red pill community.
We'll get into that in a couple of weeks from now, but here's what I'm going to say. That's never going to go away because there are some men who just don't value it. It's not about this is not about trying to make that go away, or those men are bad or wrong. No, this is more about, and I think if you were listening to that video, even as far as we got, you would understand that these guys, they're not saying that the red pill is bad and wrong about everything. What they're saying is that there is more to this than the sort of reductio ad absurdum that some in the red pill want to make it.
Because it's all about short-sighted and short-term goals, like what I get now.
No, it's not. It's not even about that. No. We will get into that more.
What they do makes sense. How men behave.
It achieves their goals. That's
absolutely.
Yeah.
And you have to commend these guys for criticism of the red pill. More people should criticize it. We should address that. Because, hey, there are some aspects that deserve to be criticized and analyzed.
Yeah.
You need the dichotomy. You need some debate in order to uncover what the real truth is.
Criticism
is adversarial.
Criticism is not a bad word.
Red pill used to do. That's what the red pill used to do in the blogs.
Yeah.
Wait, Nick, are we going to talk about that on Wednesday? Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Criticism is not a bad word, guys. Criticism is, we should all be thinking critically, which is where that word comes from.
Exactly. Yeah.
About our ideas. There is no such thing as settled science. And that's just as true for a physicist as it is for a how can I put this without just completely dunking on somebody? As it is for a layman psychologist. Okay. There's more to this. Now it's going to depend on what you want, and we'll probably get into that. And these guys were starting to get into that. Yeah, Tim, exactly. Minds are like parachutes. They only work when they're open. If we can't think with an open mind and be willing to reflect and criticize our own ideas, well, frankly, you're a feminist.
Yeah. Yeah, this is actually female logic. And,
yes, it is. Well, because there is no logic. It's feeling. The only way.
Based on emotions.
The only way you can then interact with the world is based on feelings and emotions.
Yeah.
If you can't think critically and with an open mind and rationally, then you're thinking. Then by default, you're thinking with emotions because that's all you have beyond those tools. So criticism
that brings to mind an old saying: "Women's minds are like concrete, all mixed up and permanently set."
Man, I have not heard that one in decades, Steve.
That's so true.
It is true. All mixed up.
Permanently set.
Yep. All right. Well,
well, take care, guys. It was a great discussion. Remember to please like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed today's live stream, guys. We appreciate your help and support. And go subscribe to the Resurgence of Sanity YouTube channel. Join them on Wednesday. I'll try to be there after my Pilates class. And we are going to have fun on Wednesday. And then I will see you in 2 weeks on Saturday, right here on this channel for the discussions. Oh, and then there will be another episode on Wednesday, right? That you guys will be doing before.
That's Nick.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Well, take care, everyone. Have a great weekend. Bye.
Bye.
Later.
Elena's Barre, Elena's Barre. the best place on the internet, the very best by far.